kind of out of necessity. When I had a huge job to do that I could spend like 1,000 hours doing manually, I would just go out and just Google, try to see, ask around if there was a better way to do it.
Welcome. So this is a very special episode of Sheet Talking because it's someone who started using Google Sheets literally a year ago. Now, this might sound crazy to some who've been using Google Sheets for 10 years. And I thought this was so interesting because it's talking with someone who they're fresh in their journey in learning literally all of the secret parts of Google Sheets. They are a Better Sheets member, so they are going on a very rapid journey to find out way more. I wanted to focus in on going from knowing nothing to knowing something and what that was like, what journey happened, and what sparked that. We'll find out that it was out of necessity, out of doing this job they needed to do, figuring out how to compile 1,000,000 cells. You'll see this was so interesting to focus in with someone who is right there at the precipice of a learning, who is starting that journey, who knows what it feels like to go from nothing to something. And I hope you'll enjoy this journey as well. I wanted to sort of start with nothing. In the beginning, nobody knows anything. And you particularly, Asa, you answered the call of people who are excited to talk, or not excited, people who are going to talk about spreadsheets here on Sheet Talking. And you prefaced it with like, I suck at spreadsheets. And I don't really want to be on a thing to talk about spreadsheets, of which the thing is I feel like I suck at. And I sort of dug into this and I sort of pinpointed out that like everybody sucks. Like there is not a single person on earth that's like there might be the best person at different aspects of spreadsheets. It's like spreadsheets are so wide. So I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you and talk with you and find out, what do you think you know about spreadsheets, what you don't know about spreadsheets, but then also I wanted to find out what you don't know that you don't know about spreadsheets, and what you do know about spreadsheets, but you didn't think you knew. So, right, there's like a lot of things. So that's what I think we can start at. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I think the things I know is that there's a lot of tools that integrate with Google Sheets, which is basically one of the main reasons I prefer it over to Microsoft Excel, which has a longer history in all kinds of industries, at least here in Finland. Google Sheets is kind of a new player in the field, from my corporate point of view. But what I really like is I can have scraping tools. I can have all kinds of integrations that can push stuff in Google Sheets and maybe take stuff out of Google Sheets and utilize it. But but the part that what happens in the Google Sheets in this pipeline has been kind of blurry for me for a while. So I know I can import and export stuff, and I can do basic formulas like cell A plus cell B, calculated together and stuff like that.
Right away, you are probably hands down way ahead of many people, because it sounds like you have experience with Microsoft Excel.
Well, that's started like a little over a year ago. I had to learn to use it a little bit, just to. We had in the company I work for, we actually switched out 2 e-commerce platforms and 1 ERP system and bookkeeping systems at the same time during the summer. So I had to move through the exports and imports a little over 6,000 products and 10,000 client registry and stuff like that. So I had to figure out some formulas such as
XLOOKUp and. Yeah. But this is what you were doing in Google Sheets.
And no, that
in Excel?
I did in Excel, and
Ah,
then soon after I found Google Sheets because we had to use Excel for the imports to the new Odoo
mhm.
ERP software because they have they accept the Excel files, but they don't like the CSVs
Sorry,
or
say
Google
what's
Sheets.
ERP?
It's a management system for a warehouse for e-commerce.
So
Um,
inventory
yeah,
management.
yeah. Inventory and
Mhm.
client base, and it has a lot of stuff. This particular one is odoo.com. I think it's a Belgian
Mhm.
software, if I
And
remember
you were
correctly.
sunsetting that software and moving to something
No,
else.
the
What?
the opposite. Yeah,
Oh, you were
yeah,
introducing that software.
yeah. We started using it. The former one we had was from the mid 90s. So
And you
yeah,
had never. Wait, so this is very interesting to me. So this was a year ago. You started using Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets.
yeah.
Like you haven't used Google Sheets before a year ago.
Well, a little bit, but for just notes, basically, just
Mhm.
stuffing things to the cells and not really using it, more like using it as a notepad of sorts.
And how long have you used it as a notepad?
Um, Maybe like 3 years. We used it with my team of 20 people, and none of us actually knew how to, so we just put stuff in the cells just to keep the
Mhm.
separate sentences organized in
And
some
is
of
this
those.
because you have so you're using Google Sheets to like separate some notes because you had a Google Workspace account, like was
Yeah,
your
yeah,
email, Gmail, and you had Google Docs and you sort of had these things available to you for free, right?
yeah,
And so you were like, okay, spreadsheets are going to be used for our notes. And then uh you were able to I'm assuming here you were able to share, like have the
yeah,
whole team on a single document or a single spreadsheet.
yeah. That's one of the big advantages that we could share the link. We used Google Docs as well, but with Docs it's like more
Mhm.
detailed in one place, and with Sheets we could have like lists of stuff, and then maybe a link to a Google Docs if there was need for one.
Yeah, like a Google Doc is just one big, it's almost like one big cell, right? Like Google
Yeah,
Sheets, you have
yeah,
like lots of
indeed.
cells. You can put lots of different information all over the place, right?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah,
That's interesting because, you know, quite honestly, I've heard it the other way where people are like, oh, I take notes in Google Docs. And then when I have to like list out information or like compile information in different ways, I'll link to a spreadsheet. But you did it sort of the opposite. You're like, okay, we're going to keep our notes in a spreadsheet and link to Google Docs. But the beauty
yeah,
of it is that it's possible to do it either way. Like you have all of these tools available, like also slides and drawing, Google Drawings, and oh my god, there's like so many things. Jamboard? Did you ever use a Jamboard?
yeah. I tried it once, but I felt like it had a limited space, so we
Yeah.
moved to something else. But that's the thing, because the tools, there are so many tools and they are so flexible that you can use them in so many ways. So sometimes I just feel like I'm smashing a screw with a rubber hammer and thinking there has to be a better way.
Oh my god. Yes. So this is one of those things where it's a good thing and a bad thing, right? There's a curse and a blessing. There's a blessing that it's these tools are very flexible. A new spreadsheet is completely blank, and you have 26 columns. You have 1,000 rows. You have 26,000 cells. Like great, but like also you have 26,000 cells. Like oh my god, this is like do I need all of these all the time? Um, yeah, and it's like unbelievably dense too, right? Have you been now in the last year that you've been working with Google Sheets, and it sounds like you're using Google Sheets a lot more, especially because you're a Better Sheets member, you're watching videos and you're
Yeah,
like, seeing sort of, I don't know how to explain this, but like there's a blank sheet and it's like the night sky. And then like or like it's a daytime and it's cloudy and you see the sky. And then at night you're like, oh, there's like another layer of stars behind this. Oh, there's some
Yeah.
density to this. And then you like look through a telescope and you're like, oh wait, there's multiple levels of density and like these things that just go on forever and in an infinite number of possibilities, like AppScript, like formulas. There's a 500, just over 500 formulas, but with AppScript, there's like an infinite number of things you can do. Like, when did you find out these sort of pieces? Like you said, you were taking notes at the beginning, and then do you remember, like, how did you discover that formulas were a thing? You can put an equal sign in.
Like kind of out of necessity. When I had a huge job to do that I could spend like 1,000 hours doing manually, I would just go out and just Google, try to see, ask around if there was a better way to do it. And then that's basically when I found the XLOOKUP function, which has now, I think, saved my workplace and my own company's countless hours. Like we're talking maybe even millions of hours here.
What
We,
were you doing? So the XLOOKUP is pretty ballsy. It's like a pretty hunky kind of formula. And that was the first formula you were like, oh, I can use this for what I need to do.
yeah, I had to scratch my head for a while to understand how it works, but after that I taught it to like 6 other people in the company, and they were all like, "Oh, I wish I knew this like 20 years ago." And then I just comforted them, saying it wasn't around back then, but
Yeah,
at least
20 years ago, people had to use VLOOKUP only. They had VLOOKUP
yeah,
and HLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is pretty new. Yeah.
yep. But it's amazing. Like when we had like 3 different sources of information for the same products that we have to compile in one file to import it. That that really helped. We could just bundle them in from all the sources, field by field, like column by column, by just matching them with the stock keeping unit number. So
Sweet.
it was really amazing. I had
See,
I had one. This was an Excel file, but I had a little over a million fields cells in one file.
in a million cells, and you had to fill those out, or those were the raw
I
data
had
that
to
you had to
fill this.
pick it out. You'd fill them out.
I,
So you had more than a
yeah,
million out, like other 3 different pieces of information,
yeah,
3 different sources, and you had to combine these into one spreadsheet. Yeah.
yeah. One spreadsheet with a little over a million cells.
Wow. And countless hours. You were at the beginning just picking, like, finding this command F, find this SKU number,
Yeah,
copy paste this information over to this other sheet.
yeah. I just went asking how they've done it before, and that's basically how it was. The the software that we were using before didn't really have any data validation either. So every cell that had any information in it was always hand put in, like manually.
Wow.
So you can imagine the number of ways one can type a product name, for example, if there's like 1,000 repetitions and every single line is manually input.
Wow. Yeah, that's an interesting thing, that some proprietary software that like you can use for inventory management might not have data validation, because like the people who make that software have to literally code in data validation. But in addition to like having the ability to do data validation, you need to have the ability to do data validation on those specific fields and those inputs. Whereas
Yeah,
with Google Sheets and Excel, you can like right click, add data validation. like you don't have to be a coder to code this sort of feature of saying, I only want URLs in this column, or I only want I only want to be able to select out of like 5 options and have a click drop down menu to like click and select this. Like you don't need to code to add that to a spreadsheet, right?
Yep.
Wow. And so XLOOKUP was your first formula. And then were you like, what else can I do here? Or was there another need that you're like, okay, I got this job done. I have now filled out these million cells, and you went off and like you're like, I'm okay, I'm done with spreadsheets. I've learned enough. I'm good to go. And then oh wait, I have another need. Or was it like, what else is possible? What happened after that?
I got kind of excited on how powerful it was, and then I started thinking of more use cases and more ways to use it. And then I just whenever I came up with a problem that had to do with data sorting or any kind of modifications, I just went out to look for solutions in the world of formulas, and I found some really nice. For example, one big revelation was that I could just put like a word in quotes and then plus sign and another word in quotes, and it would combine them in the one cell. And this kind of stuff actually led me creating with some external tools a way to create Google Map URLs for scraping certain things on Google Maps according to a postal number in Finland. So
Right.
basically, right now I have one bot running to make a complete list of all the schools in Finland, because they are one of our main clients in art supply sector. So that I couldn't believe that kind of lists actually never existed before, but I think in 2 or 3 months we might be the first ones to have it.
And this is all, so you're creating a brand new list of schools in Finland,
Yeah,
but you're finding those schools by using maps, and
yeah,
you're
and the
taking
formula here created URL.
yeah, you're taking a URL of a Google Maps and you're like flipping through, you're changing some metric, which is the zip code, right?
Yeah,
And
I
you're just
actually first made a full list of the zip codes and then the names of the places, and then I combined them in the formula with the Google Google Maps URL, and now it can automatically just pick the generated URL. It gives the map results limited to the schools in the area, and
yeah,
then
this is
picks
so
them up
cool.
to the sheet.
Yeah, this is so cool, right? Like, I have used in a similar way Google Sheets to do what's called like spin text or spin tax or spin text.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll take a sentence and I do this with sentences. I do this with prompts now with prompt engineering, with AI and ChatGPT. I've been like creating a prompt and then taking one element and then going down a list of like, okay, I want this one prompt and just flip out this one element. And then so the basic part of that, right, is exactly what you said, sort of taking text and adding it together. But I do that, plus I'll integrate it with the API of OpenAI in the sheet. So I don't have to like copy paste into ChatGPT. So I can just see the result right away of that prompt with that specific wording and go down the list and just see all of the prompts and get all of these different things.
Oh, that's brilliant. So did you get the sheets with the API straight to the OpenAI?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it returns the results to the sheets.
Yep. And there's a couple things you can do here, right? So you can like, and you think, okay, this might save you from copy pasting. Like just like you said before, right? You had this sort of massive amount of information across 3 different databases. You had to bring them together. And like you could theoretically, with given enough time, you could do this piece by piece. You could say, go here, find this thing, Command F, find this, cut and paste, and move this data here. Same thing with this idea, right? With enough time, you can take this string of text, copy paste it into ChatGPT, get the result, copy paste it back into a sheet, theoretically, right? But like being able to do that 100 times in like moments, or what I'm testing, or not really testing, but like trying to play with right now. And I, at the time of this recording, I have not successfully done this yet. But what I'm trying to do is figure out how to not just enter text to AI API and then get back text. What I want to do is like, based on the text that I get back, then go back to AI with another prompt so that I can string multiple prompts together. For instance, this is going to be a bad example, but let's say I wanted to come up with weird ways to do marketing. Well, I want to like write a blog post about weird ways to do marketing. But like if you just type that into ChatGPT, you're going to get just like a list and then a little bit of explanation. What I really want to do is like get the results in a bullet point. I don't want it to take the single prompt and come up with the entire blog post. I want to get like an individualized bullet list of these like weird ways. Then each one, now I know, okay, that's a weird way to do marketing. Then I want to send that one of those examples through again and say, given this weird way of doing marketing, give me 3 examples of it. Then with those examples, I wanted to also say like, okay, describe how someone doing SEO might do this weird way of marketing. Describe how someone doing pay-per-click ads might do this weird way of marketing. To like have a prompt generate answers, but then have those answers then generate multiple other prompts, not prompts, answers, then have those answers generate multiple answers. So then instead of getting like 2 words and getting an 8,000 word blog article that just like sounds like AI wrote it, you know, is like it comes out with these like little pieces of text that then you can piece together and say, okay, here's, you know, 50 weird ways to do marketing and the different ways, like, right, you can come up with a list of, say, 10 ways to do marketing, which is SEO, pay-per-click, influencer marketing. You can do those in one of those prompts, right? And now you have, with one prompt, you can come up with 50 weird ways to do marketing and the examples, right? Sorry, that was a long explanation.
No, it's really good. And I think I see I think there was a one tool that tried to implement the same kind of they call it prompt chaining, maybe.
That's okay. I've been trying to figure out what this is called. Okay, I'm gonna write that down because I've never heard it before. That's great. I gotta go look for that.
Yeah, I'll get back to you with the name when I remember it, but I just ran into this the other day, so.
Well, what I've seen so far is like people using Google Sheets to do the one step. What I sort of explained at the beginning is like, okay, you can spin this thing around again and again and again, 50, 100, 200, 500 times. It doesn't matter because it's going to just input and get a response. But I just think it'd be so much more interesting to like do now what's called prompt chaining. I figured out the name of it. Thank God.
What's the main pain point in it? Like, is it the answers coming back to the Google Sheets?
So there's 2 main pain points that I haven't been able to really overcome, and someone will know this, right? Even probably someone watching this might even have seen it. Maybe I figured this out within the time between the time of recording this and publishing this, but I'm sure somebody will figure this out. Okay, so the 2 main challenges that I have is one, a single trigger app script can only run if you do it in a sheet, like if you do a custom function in a sheet, it can really only run like 30 seconds or it times out. So like sometimes now my prompts time out because now it's like taking longer and longer to like send and get a response. But you can increase that to 6 minutes before it times out if you do a installed trigger. So instead of using just a custom function in AppScript to just send the prompt and get the response, you can do an installed trigger, which is fairly basic to do. It's sort of just going into triggers and adding a trigger and saying, I want this to trigger at this point. And so you can increase that to 6 minutes. But 6 minutes is still a limit. So even though 30 seconds is small and you're like, okay, I have overcome the 30-second limit, now you have a 6-minute limit. So with this kind of problem chaining that I want to do, I have a feeling that like you're gonna get to points where you want to do like 5, 6, 10 times. And if it's already timing out on 30 seconds regularly with just one, that means at 6 minutes, I'm limited to at most 12 things. Okay, so like, are there other ways to get around this time limit? And there is. Which is you create multiple different functions that operate in different ways. So like you trigger the trigger from another trigger. Instead of one trigger that then you have a 6-minute limit, you say, okay, I'm gonna run this app script. Then when it's done, it's gonna do this thing, which then triggers another app script. But like Google Sheets and Google itself, like the company, is pretty smart, and they have these limits that some of these triggers are not triggerable by a trigger itself. You have like a user must execute this. So then I'm like thinking, oh, well, then the sort of way to get around this is to have a operator where instead of saying, I'm going to do this 2-word prompt and then get out 10,000 words or something, you sort of have an operator that walks through a few of those steps, which then you have unlimited number of triggers, right? If it's a human triggering these things. So that's one problem, which brings me then to the second problem that I haven't been able to really, maybe I have overcome it, but not in my head yet. How this data flows is not like a normal data set in Sheets. A spreadsheet, like most people in the most ways that you use spreadsheets is you have headers and your column is related to each other, and then rows are related to each other. But if you have some data that is like you have one input, but then that input has, let's say, 5 results, and then each of those results has 5 results. Then each of those inputs have 5 results. You have a multiplying number of pieces of data, right?
Yeah.
So like talking over it, what you could theoretically do, and again, this is theoretical, not really, I haven't done it yet, is reverse engineer how many things you're going to need. So if you have 5 pieces of data that create another 5 pieces of data, then another 5, that's just 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. Is that the correct math? 5 times 5 is...
I'm really bad at math, but I I know it's a lot because there was a time I tried to do like a Flash mobile game with each screen would have 3 options to choose from, and each of those would have 3 options and so forth.
Yeah,
I didn't get really far to just realize it was a ton more work than I anticipated, and then I just changed the idea.
So what it ends up being is like, okay, so you absolutely can reverse engineer this, right? You can say, okay, I'm going to have a maximum number of 5 options, which have then 5 options, which then have 5 options. Okay, I will at maximum have 125 pieces of distinct data. And so you can sort of create your data flow knowing you're going to have distinctly 125 things that you have to like combine here at the end into this whatever blog post or whatever you want to make. That's all well and good until you're like, well, in some cases I want 3, in some cases I want 4, in some cases I want 2. Like, it doesn't, theoretically, I sort of get to this point and I just get sort of tired. I'm just like, is it worth it? Like, I literally ask myself this every time I go through. I'm like, is it worth it? Shouldn't I just like write a better prompt? Like, okay, for instance, is prompt chaining going to result in something that is 100 times better than if I just worked on this single prompt? Like, because now you can write really long prompts. Whereas, like, I guess a year ago or so, you couldn't. So there was this sort of limit of prompt you have to put in. But now, we're talking now May 2023, but maybe in a year there will be no limit. If there is no limit to the amount of information that you can put into a prompt, then this sort of prompt chaining doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, but it's still a great learning experience and all that. But have you heard of the Auto JPT?
Right. Yeah. So I've heard of this. I haven't really like looked much into it. Is it agents which are like it'll be some action it will take, right?
Well, I'm basically the wrong person to talk about because all I have is second-hand knowledge from my smarter friends. But how they explain it to me is that you give it a goal and it figures out the rest like the way. And it should create multiple prompts itself to achieve results. Like it could basically create a full application of sorts or a website with all the sections, like basically chaining prompts by itself. But yeah, again, I just talked with my friends about it. I don't really have any actual facts, so please don't, whoever is listening, don't crucify me for this. I might have it all wrong.
Right. So to sort of sum up what I think the problem is not necessarily the code itself, but rather like the information construction. Like how do you, so the question that is unanswered is like, how do you design a sheet or a series of spreadsheets that have some actions that are going to take place without the human interlooping, or that a human is interloping? Is it on one tab and then there's multiple tabs in the background, or is like the human have to go from tab to tab to tab? That's sort of the pain point for me at that point. And with or without autonomous agents doing some action, sort of spreadsheets are, again, a curse and a blessing. There is some basic structure to a sheet. A spreadsheet file, right, is you have one initial spreadsheet table or tab, and you can create more tabs. But then there's the other side of AppScript. There's the AppScript where you can write AppScript that is bound to this file. So there are some good bounding things that we just can't get over. We won't ever have to get over. You don't have to do HTML. You don't have to do CSS. You don't have to style it differently. But structuring data is pretty difficult at times, right? Like spreadsheets don't seem to be good relational databases. You can create a relational database in a spreadsheet file. It's a little clunky, but you can do it. And so the design of the information is a pretty big pain point.
Yeah, that is true. I actually had one project idea that I was supposed to use Google Sheets as kind of a database, But the more I've thought about it, the more I've leaned towards to just having the Google Sheets as a place where I could import posts to WordPress from, instead of using it
Mhm.
as a full database for a custom website. But the idea
Mhm.
was that I could scrape in the information, and then I could like dynamically create a website with that information for
Yeah.
each like row being a card for the example I had in mind was listing all the cafes in Finland. So
This happens a lot. There is a sheet, a single database sheet, and then each row is a single page on a website. A lot of people do that. They'll use programs like Glide, Spread Simple. There's a few
oh
programs
yeah,
that take rows of data, and it's like the title, the header one, text, some image. You'll have a URL to some image or some name of a image file. And yeah, you can do that. I did without using Google. Okay, so I created a website, a directory, a searchable directory, but I used Google Sheets to design the data, and then I exported it as a CSV file and uploaded it to Algolia. Algolia is just
oh yeah,
search.
yeah. I know Algolia. Yeah,
Yeah, and so that was like a really sort of a cheating way to use Google Sheets to gather the data, but then set it as a static set of data in Algolia, use this other program. Since then, there's sites like Glide and Spread Simple that do all the technology for you, and you can still keep a Google Sheet as your main data space.
yeah.
You run
I
in.
tried out Spread Simple as the
Mhm.
MVP prototype thing, but it's because I want to scale it. It would get expensive really fast.
Yes. Then some other options are if you're like, okay, I just need to read the data in like Spread Simple and Glide and these things, they create the page for you. Oh, there's also Sheet to Site, which it'll create the website, and then it'll read off of the Google Sheet. If you, however, have a website that you're like, I just need the data in the website to be in a Google Sheet, and I just need to read the data from the sheet, then there's tools like Sheetsu, SHETTSU, or Sheetsy, or Sheet2 API, which turn your Google Sheet into an API. So then your database is just this API call from your website. So you design your website, you create your website, and then all you do is get the data from the sheet, instead of like Glide and Spread Simple sort of do all the business logic for you. This you have to sort of do the logic yourself, and then it just reads the data from the sheet. That's really cool. But the coolest part
So
about this is that those tools like have a price, right? There's going to be like 20, 30, $40 a month, and then probably some increased amount the more data that you use and the more bandwidth that you use. However, in AppScript, in app, like in literally bound to a file itself, you can create a URL. You deploy AppScript to a web app, and then you get a URL that you can access that sheet. So you don't need to use a separate service. You can do this all from Google Sheets itself. And I even have videos, which there's videos called like embed a number or embed a text on your website from a Google Sheet. And it uses this idea of a app script that you deploy as a web app, and it's on Google servers, and you get a URL, and then you put that URL into your website to say, hey, just read this piece of data, and you get that data into your website.
that sounds amazing. So basically, if I had a use case where I have created let's say a cafe website for one of my customers, and they would like to change the opening hours, for example,
Mhm.
or a lunch menu, I could share them a Google Sheet where they had the input fields for these things, and
Yep.
then the website could fetch the data from the sheet to the website.
And it fetches it live. So they make the edit and it's live. Like you refresh the page and it's done. It's there. I mean, it's incredibly
Ah,
insecure, right? Like think about this, right? It's a URL. Your website is just like calling this URL that has no password protection, right? But like the Google Sheet is not shared open. It's going through this URL. So someone else who wants to read the operating time of your cafe could, but they can't access the sheet. Like they can't open the sheet because it has like only the users who are given access to it. So it's insecure in like general internet terms, but it is pretty secure because you can't access the sheet itself, except unless
yeah.
you have edit access.
So they basically can't just read what's already public information in this
Right.
example.
Right. So that's what makes it insecure is like anyone can read it. And then because that URL is on your front end of your website, so anyone can go and grab that URL and use it somewhere else. So in that sense, it's insecure. But like, yes, exactly. It's already public information. So like, do you need to like hide it? No, not really.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take a deeper look into this, and I might already have a lot of use cases for it because I've
Mhm.
noticed it with I've been creating websites for my customers for I think 6 years now, and one of the most common things is people are afraid of logging into WordPress and making edits. Even if I
Really?
just
Wow.
create a custom menu for them, uh, at this one time I spent like almost 50 hours creating a dynamic menu for a customer that would you could just put in input fields the whole menus for like 3 weeks forward, and
Mhm.
it would automatically change when the day changes, so it would always have the dynamic current menu for the day. And I had to plan that we could just broadcast it on all kinds of screens just to make sure people know what's for lunch today and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But they never wanted to use it because it was in the WordPress, and it just felt difficult for them for whatever reason. I never figured out why people are so afraid of it. But they however do know how to open up Google Sheets and put in information. So
Right.
this could really solve a lot of problems uh, with the client interaction. I could just
Mhm.
share them the sheet link, and I would have some instructions and input fields ready. They would
I
just
mean, the biggest problem is going to be data validation, which you can bake into a sheet, right? You can right click data validation and say, only put in numbers here, only put in the
yeah.
word, the only either select AM or PM. You can sort of, instead of saying, hey, just type in the time here, like 9 a.m. or 9 p.m., you can give them the like a clock and have them change the numbers and maybe even not type in anything, but select the numbers 1 through 12, select AM, PM, select open, close. And you don't necessarily have to say, fill in this field where it could be anything. And they start typing NINEAM. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, with Google Sheets, you can, again, the curse and the blessing, right? The curse is the blessing is, oh, here, I'll share you the sheet, edit this document. The curse is, oh, you can type in anything you want here. Okay, well, add some data validation. Okay, we fixed that. But like, oh, now anyone who has access to you know, their email or their Google Drive can now access that. So yeah, it's a little bit of a security, insecure, open kind of thing issue, but I don't know. I guess email is better than nothing.
Yeah, and if they have the if somebody gets the access to their Google Drive, it's more than likely that they find out like a bunch of stored passwords there anyway. So
Yeah, I think you have more problems than
yeah,
updating your opening and closing times of your restaurant site.
it's well, one of the happy things I've noticed is that people have started using the two-factor
Mhm.
verification in the logins, so
Yeah.
that helps a bit.
Also, you know what has helped a lot in the last few years is a lot of people are working from home, so they're not so there's not like workstations, like you know how there was open offices and like
Oh yeah,
computers used to be like, oh, you left your computer on was like a huge security risk. Like someone could just walk in and start using your computer. It's like, no, that doesn't happen anymore.
yep, and same with the password sharing and the notepads and sticky notes on the desks.
Yeah.
Like there was a one time I worked in a pretty big company in the financial sector, and it was crazy how many people just like they didn't when they had to input a code sequence for the BitLocker system, and then they had to input the password and all that. They did it every day, but they still had sticky notes with the here's my pin code, here's
Hmm.
my password. So basically, no matter how locked the computer was or if it was turned off, anyone could just walk there and, oh, that's all I need.
Exactly. Everybody's password is on a post-it note on their monitor. Yeah.
Yeah, and right now, even if they have all the same stuff on the sticky notes, when it's in their home, there's no thousands of people walking past their
Do you
workstation
have
every day. So.
yeah. I thankfully, you know, one thing is a lot of people use spreadsheets to list their passwords. They'll just have a spreadsheet of passwords. I don't have that. I've heard others will have that. Um, so this has been fun. I hope you learned that you know more about spreadsheets than you thought you did.
Yeah,
And
and you gave me one really great idea that I'm gonna definitely try out.
yeah, and there is a video on Better Sheets for that. There's actually two. There are there's sort of three videos that have the word embed in them. One video where it says embed a headline on a in a website. That's probably the best one to watch. There's another one called like embed a number. If you just want to like flip out a number, there's fairly the same, and the sheet is available. So you don't have to do the app script. You can watch me do the app script, but then just copy the app script from that sheet. But then there's a third one, which has the word embed in it, but it's not necessarily what you want. It's embed a form in a website where someone can enter an email address and it gets added to a sheet. So it's sort of the other way around. So there's headline, embed a headline from a Google Sheet, and then there's embed a form to capture emails to a Google Sheet. So those are two separate videos, but they all have the word embed in them.
All right, I listed those down. I'm gonna take a look at them.
Um,
Amazing.
yeah, and the best thing too is you don't have to be an expert at spreadsheets because the app script is there for you. Like you'll see it all there, and then you can copy the sheet, copy the template, and use it. But you gave me, thank you for telling me about prompt chaining, at least the word. It's so hard sometimes knowing that like there's an action you want to do, but you don't know the word for it. And you're like, what do I
Yeah,
Google for? Didn't really. So
yeah,
this
yeah.
is going to be.
This exact thing has been one of my struggles with the sheets because I have the idea that somebody must have done this some way, but when I don't know what it's called and
Mhm.
what the formula is, it's really hard to look up. Well,
You know
the
what?
the
It's
AI is
also
helping
hard.
a bit. So,
It's also hard for me. So even though I know how to do something, I don't know how to name it. I don't know how to say like, this is the action that I'm taking. I'm doing this thing and I'm showing you how to do this thing. But like, what is the word that I need to use in the title so that you find this thing that I'm doing? It's hard to title things as much as it is as hard to find the words to say, I want to do this thing in a spreadsheet. It's equally hard both ways. I had
yeah.
I had a friend like email me and say, hey, here's like a video idea for you, because like I was looking for this thing to do and I found this video that does this. And he sent me a video that I was like, oh, I've done this in a video. And I sent him the video that I made. And I'm like, oh, here's the video that you wanted, but you found some other video for it. And he's like, oh, you should probably name it the one that I was looking for. I'm like, yeah, but like so many people will search for so many ways. Like you can name it one way, but there's 10 ways to say how to do that thing. Like combining oh my god, it's like two columns into one column. Like, do you say I'm going to merge two columns into one column? Because merge is literally a different thing. It's like merging cells. But like, is anyone going to use the word combine? Like, I want to combine first name, last name, or I want to put together my first name or last name. Or they'll say, I want to make a full name from a first name and last name. Like, there's also other use cases for combining two columns into one, which is like, oh, I want to combine multiple columns into one. I want to take all the parts of a street address and make it one street address. It's like, there's so many ways to say that. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's the thing, because those were exactly the first words I thought in this context was like a merge. Well, it wasn't that, and combine. Well, not exactly that either. Then I found this word that I didn't know existed. This I don't know how to say it, so I'll just toss
Concatenate.
it in the chat. Yeah, that's the one. So
Yes.
I I had no idea
Who
such a word
uses
exists. But
who uses that word? Like, I don't know where that word came from, because yeah, now I've started to use concatenate to say combine text together. Because
yeah.
that's the formula name in Google Sheets. Concatenate just puts text together. There's also, crazy enough, there's literally the formula called text join, which is like, okay, is that join? But like with the formula join, you can join together text. So why would you need another formula called text join to just join text together when you can join text together with join? But if I'm wanting to join text together, isn't that the same as concatenate? Like, those are three separate formulas. Like, why would you need all of these things?
Yeah, it sounds like it's for the same thing, but just then you find out there's slight differences that actually make it clear to use one in one use case and the other in the next.
No, I don't think there's a clear use for any of them. Even worse is concat. So like concat is a short version of concatenate, where the formula literally takes only two arguments. But why do you need a separate formula for only two elements if concatenate also concatenates together two elements or arguments? Like, why? Who's the product manager who was like, I have spent so much time combining two pieces of text, and I don't want to spell out concatenate every single time. But they must have come up with concat before they came up with autocomplete, because now when you go into Google Sheets and you type in equal and you just say CON, concat and concatenate come up. So you don't have to type in concatenate anymore.
So is there a difference between the two?
Yeah, concat
Like,
only combines text of two arguments, whereas concatenate is multiple arguments. But you can use concatenate to combine two arguments.
oh no. So if somebody is just like Googling around and they find the concat first, but they need to string 3 or 4 arguments,
Yeah.
they just end up scratching their head because they never write the whole.
But get this, you can also string together concat. So like if you concat one argument and the next argument, the second argument could be a concat of two arguments. So like there's probably someone who has nested concats because they just like never figured out that concatenate is just like, because nobody knows the word concatenate, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's not a normal English word or word at all.
Yeah, that's actually what I said to my brother when I first heard the word, and he was like, being a programmer, he was like, "Well, that's I use it every day. What do you mean?" So, so there's just one person who
There's
uses
some
it.
languages, yeah. There's
Yeah,
some languages that have it, like programming languages.
yeah, but nobody else that I've met has had ever heard it before. I just go around and ask, "Do you know what this word means?"
Yeah, so generally speaking, to wrap this all up, we're all on a spectrum, on a continuum of knowing and not knowing, and like there is nobody that knows more than another person. It's just like you've experienced these formulas and Google Sheets in a different way. We're all different unicorns. We're all each individually a unicorn in Google Sheets. We're all the combination of all our past experiences.
Yeah, and this also confirms my um, thought of that when I'm open about not knowing basically anything about the subject, it's the best way to start learning something. Just like happened today.
Yeah, just be open to learning and you'll learn. If thank you so much. Thank you so much for chatting, for talking about spreadsheets for so long. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I had no idea that we had so much to talk about spreadsheets because I never find anyone to actually talk about spreadsheets.
Thank you. Hey, thanks for watching that video. Watch here for all the episodes of Sheet Talking here on YouTube. And over here, watch the latest video from Better Sheets. Enjoy. Thanks for watching.